Hello everybody, good evening in my case. I greet you sincerely wherever you happen to be and whatever the time happens to be where you are. This is your sister Amma, and I come your way again with very, very hard-hitting messages. Today, again, I want to revisit one of the things that I love to discuss. But it's one of the things that people find most difficult when I raise the topic of world order truths. I've discussed this already. There are certain things that are foundations in this world we live in. Each one for himself is one of those truths. A lot of us don't want to accept it. We like to think that we are community beings. We like to think that we are social. We like to think that we consider other people above ourselves, but all that is genuinely not true. It is human instinct to look out for yourself. It is human instinct to focus on yourself and those who are near and dear to you. We depend on politicians to do things for us, and we are fooled by them sometimes to think that they worry and care about us more than themselves. No, because it's not human nature. Each one for himself first. If somebody raises an initiative and there's a beneficiary, believe me, in most cases, that person is the prime beneficiary. Even if they are seen to give you things, there's a reason why they give it to you. Even if they appear to be handing out charity, there is a feeling they benefit from doing this charity. Each one for himself is a principle many people misunderstand, but it's one we all need to get. Nobody loves you more than you do love yourself. No, nobody rates your needs above their own. Be clear about it and do not overrate your own importance. I keep saying this, we are all as ordinary as muck. Nobody really cares much about you. Everybody cares about themselves. I love me, I am self-centered. You love you, you are self-centered. I like to pretend that I care about you and I put your needs above my own. Sometimes I just might do, but that's a very rare occasion. On real everyday occasions, I care about me the most. I care about my children, I care about my family and friends, and then when I have the capacity to care about other people after that, then I do. There is a hierarchy. Me, the people near and dear to me, and then we radiate outwards from there. It is natural order. It is world order truth. Each one is for himself. And the earlier you learn it, the earlier it will be better for you. The day you realize this thing and you order your life in a way where you don't depend on other people, that you make sure things happen for yourself, that you are not waiting for other people to address your need, that you know the only person who cares about your need is you, and the only person who can make sure it is met is you, that day you would have made progress, huge progress. The other truth that I want to discuss is the asking price you place on yourself. The value you place on yourself is what people often pay. And actually, in most cases, as human nature as it is, we tend to underpay. So when you request $1,000, we will always negotiate you down in the view to reduce your currency. When you ask for $50, I will never offer to pay you $100, even if I know $100 might be closer to your value. If you decide to undersell yourself, be sure that the people who are buying would even peg it lower than you expect. If you want people to treat you well, know your own currency, know your own value, peg it right and insist on it. And you will find that people who want to engage with you definitely will be willing to pay that currency because it's the only option available to them. This morning, I made a video and I was discussing politics and the fact that politicians in different places speak different languages because people in different places have different expectations and different values. I live at the moment in a place where the citizens are given so many liberties. But this Saturday, I was talking to a parent who was really annoyed that they are asking them to pay for their own utility bills for the first time ever. She just can't believe it. That she didn't pay her electricity bills and the electricity company had stopped her electricity. It was sacrilegious to her. To her, expats like me should pay because we don't live in our own country. We happen to to come to her country. And it is now our job to make sure we pay to sustain her. I looked at this woman, I looked at her very carefully, and I realized something. Yeah, the government here actually does cater to a lot of this with the locals because that is their demand. That is what they require. That is what they accept, and the government placates them. The Conservatives in England are clearly not in a hurry to be giving anybody free utility bills. Ooh, the little social system we have is getting cut back all the time. Yeah, that is the English currency at the moment. In some places, there is absolutely no help for you, no matter what happens to you. And if you don't go out to find your own buck to eat, you starve. Different places, different expectations, different deliveries by the government. This very day, there is a government somewhere outdooring ambulances for the first time at the National Centre. In other places, it will be sacrilegious for a politician to even think that the launching of an ambulance system is worth discussing. Potentially using public funds for that. Oh my God. But in some places, it is a huge achievement and people definitely celebrate it. The currency of the population is exactly what the politician delivers. If the population demand more of the politicians, if they raise the bar high, the politicians do want to satisfy them. So of course, the politicians will jump higher. If the bar is kept low, the politician wants an easy life. The politician will just jump a little bit above the line so that it does not kick the bar off. Simples. If you want people who deal with you to change the way they deal with you, it starts with you changing your expectations and raising your own bar to a suitable level. In some villages, you will find the commissioning of a market is a big deal and people talk about it. In my community, we are really, really object focused. We like to see things. We only value things that our eyes can see. We don't value intellect. We don't value coaching and mentorship. We don't value the development of the mind. So people will prefer to have a public toilet built in preference to a coaching program for young people, in preference to mentorship for young people. When you promise to help people, the only thing they expect to see is cash. The time you invest in them, the opportunities you create for them all mean nothing in the community I come from. I don't know about your community, I can tell you about my village. In my village, what we understand is cash. And so if you want to do politics in my village, you go to your local bank, you get the freshest notes from the ATM machine. It doesn't matter what value it is, but you give everybody one note. And they have all received one item in their hand. They prefer that to you sitting down and imparting your life experiences for free. They prefer that to guidance on how to develop themselves. What they don't understand is that this knowledge is priceless. This knowledge would generate so much more cash if you take it from source. See, different places, different expectations, and if you want to go to my village to win an election, you better go with hard currency. When you reduce yourself to cheap hard currency politics, then your politicians play those games with you. They do. Do you blame the politician? I don't. The only person I blame is you and I, because we set the bar. We play the tune and they dance to it. The rigor that we apply to the selection of the tune will determine the kind of dance which will be complementary to it. Know thy power, know thy worth, and demand it of the people who engage with you. It was advice somebody gave me not too long ago, and it's advice I really, really value. People will never pay your asking price. People will underpay your asking price if you don't insist. Nobody will pay above what you request. So make sure that you value yourself at the right level and you insist that people meet your expectations. Cheap politics needs to lose its place in the 21st century, and the only way it will is when individuals like us understand how to take on cheap politics, cheap politicians, call their bluff and send them packing to the pits where they belong. Very simple stuff. Right, another home truth for me, world order truth, is that at the moment we are actually no longer in the technology age. We've moved on. Those of you who have kept abreast, who know that we are in the people age. We are in the social age. We are into networking. Whom you know is more important these days than what you know. It's actually been like that for a long, long time. You can know an awful lot, but if you don't know the right people, who will celebrate you in the right way, who will connect you in the right way, who will highlight your skills in the right way, that knowledge is wasted. It is wasted. Will bring absolutely little value to you. Your connections are more important than what you know. I am not asking you to be an empty head, but I'm asking you to balance two things. Yes, I am guilty, especially when social media started. I was an intellectual, was not interested in this nonsense. To me, it was a time waster. Did not see any value in it, did not want to engage, did not want to learn, and it has cost me so much money, so much time, so much effort to try and sort out that balance I lost in the early days. There are so many intellectual dinosaurs trying to send information in newsletters, sending out bulletins, writing essays and shooting it out and getting absolutely no return, no engagement. The world consumes differently. The world has moved on. One person and an account and introductions, one person retweeting what you wrote. What you wrote was exactly what it was, but it was not reaching anybody. But with the right network, with the right connection, one person retweeting can change the game completely. One comment by a well-connected person can turn your odds significantly. Yes, simply tagging somebody you know who might have a big network might allow you access. I have learned this and I'm still learning this the very, very hard way. So if you live in this 21st century, if you intend to engage in this 21st century, understand that the rules have changed. Traditional media has lost its power. It is the people age, and the power is with the people. The power is with the numbers. Yes, the people who have the false agency can have the numbers, and they become so powerful as a result. Regardless of your knowledge, if you don't have a network, if you don't have connections, if you don't know how to buy in and tap in, you are excluding yourself. You are definitely getting excluded. You better reconnect. You better tap in. You better make a fool of yourself a few times very quickly in order to get abreast. You have to keep up with the Joneses because they are running very fast these days. It is the power of network which will change your dynamics this year. World order truth. Many people have known this for a long, long time. Myself and a few dinosaur classmates just didn't hear. I have people still placing adverts in local newspapers, and I'm like, dear, that is so 19th century. It no longer works. It's a waste of your money. Yes, sending things to the television might be entertainment for a few old women, but might not be your target audience. Your target audience are networking elsewhere. All it takes, and I've experienced so much of it, all it takes is one person. So in May 2019, I made a video. That video on my YouTube channel still has a viewership of about 2,500, and that's it. But that video went viral. Millions of people saw it because it was actually repropagated on bigger platforms. People took it, edited it, and people reshared it, people reposted. And I found that video in so many places, and I was just stunned. And in fact, that video went the way it did because of a few critical account holders. There is something now on Snapchat where you can get people who have large followings sharing your message. I can't remember what the term is even called anymore. It's a 24-hour thing. Shout outs, they are called. One shout out from an influencer can change everything for you. One shout out, one retweet, one video, one comment, one repost is all it takes in this 21st century. So if you were raised by dinosaurs and you are living in this modern era, you have to know this world truth. It is the people's age. No, it's not the technology. At the moment, most people can use the tech. And even when you don't know how to use the tech, you can find a local boy on Fiverr who can do the tech for you. The tech is actually not the gap bridger anymore. It is your people skills. It is your communication skills. It is your networking skills. It is the relationships that you can build with people. That is what turns the odds this time in this century. In this century, we believe in doing community work. We believe in looking good. We believe in other people seeing that we are responsible. People try and demonstrate responsibility in many ways. It's called social responsibility, and it's actually becoming even bigger in this century. World order truth. People are able to do businesses based on this. Find a way of reading where the market trends are and make sure that you keep yourself abreast. That is how to survive. In this 21st century, another truth is the fact that nobody is about to help you. Absolutely nobody. No, everybody's busy for himself. Everybody's trying to raise capital for himself. Everybody's trying to live a better life. Stop expecting other people to come help you out, to bail you out. No, bailout culture is not part of this new truths that we are living. If you know the new order truths, when you know the world order truths, and you learn the new order truths, it makes it so easy to engage in the century. Those of us who don't learn these things, we use archaic techniques, we use archaic strategies and beliefs, and we find ourselves wanting so easy in this century. So, let me recap. Let me keep it straight for you. Some things are truth. They are absolute truth. You are on your own. You have no helper. Nobody is about to help you. Stop expecting people to help you and get on with life as if nobody will help you. It is one of the surefire ways to make sure that your progress is guaranteed. People will pay what you request for, or slightly lower if they can get away with it. So it is up to you to peg your value at the right place. Networking, and people connections. That's everything in this century. Make sure that you spend more time on your network. Make sure that you review who should be in your inner circle and who should be in your periphery. No, don't be too quick to cut people out, because even people in your periphery could be critical to your success. Don't disregard people so quickly, so easily. Let me give you an example. On social media, for example, if you have a certain number of following, your account is rated a particular way. If you don't have, even if you are one person short of that number, your account is rated completely different. Those people who are your followers don't necessarily have to be your confidants. No, they don't need to know all your secrets. They are people you share things with. They are people you engage and stimulate, but they do not need to know the color of your intestines. That's private. but you have to learn to engage the masses. You have to learn to hold people's interest for a while. You have to make sure that you generate interest and you sustain it. And make sure that whilst you are attracting people, that you know the audience you need and you put out material that will attract the people you want. Otherwise, what happened to me this weekend will happen to you too. You place an advert, you don't do the demographics tightly enough, and you get proposals and propositions instead of responses to your advert. And Facebook is click happy. All these people have clicked on your messenger, and they are sending you messages. Of course, it's the wrong type of message, but Facebook doesn't really care. They have clicked on the messenger, they count it as a click, and they bill you for the inconvenience of these people disturbing your peace with unnecessary requests and unnecessary messages. In this networking, you've got to learn your target audience. You really need to know their interests. You really need to know the material you put out that would attract the kind of people you want and exclude, more importantly, the kind of people you do not want to engage. It is not all crowds that are helpful. Your periphery, even that, has to be targeted to your needs and your interests. My name remains Amma. I hope some of these short videos actually do help. The intention is to draw your attention to things that matter. Things that you need to focus on, the things that you need to keep watertight so that you don't get distracted, so that you are not left behind, so that you stop being a dinosaur and come into the 21st century. We are already in 2020. Things are moving very fast. I remember the year 2000. It's been 20 years in this century, 20 solid years. If you've not made enough progress in 20 years, then you are falling behind. And if you have, it's okay to backtrack, to go learn, find support, find coaching to get yourself back where you should have been in the first place. The account is Amma Manson on all social media handles. Please look for me, follow me, subscribe, watch my videos, retweet, reshare, and ask other people to also watch who might benefit. Catch you soon. Thanks for watching.